Jimmy, 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 Jimmy. Those are the only names you need to know. Sir Lord Jimmy Crystal directs a detachment of deranged, disassociated, and demonic disciples in his distinct dystopia. From Teletubbies to Jimmy Savile, his worldview is a distortion of childhood nostalgia. We join the Jimmies as they judge whether Spike has the juice to journey with them. How's that? Meanwhile, Dr. Ian Kelson forms an unlikely friendship with Samson, a giant infected with the virus. Kelson approaches living and undead with equal dignity and humanity. Memento mori, memento amoris are his personal mantras. Remember death and remember to love. Even the infected deserve dignity in his eyes. This dynamic film, directed by Nia DaCosta and written by Alex Garland, picks up the pieces right where they landed in 28 years later and pulls them into a dazzling yet destructive display of the best and worst parts of humanity. With incredible performances from Ralph Fiennes, Jack O'Connell, Alfie Williams, and Erin Kelly. 28 years later, all that's left behind is a temple of bones.
Welcome to the Burnt or Buttered podcast, where we talk about movies every single week. I'm Stetson.
And I'm Toast.
And this week we saw 28 years later,
The Bone Temple.
And if you guys have been following us for a whole year now, 28 years later was one of the first films that we ever reviewed. Well, maybe one of the first 10.
And one of the only ones that we've seriously butted heads on.
Where we almost punched each other's faces.
I almost knocked his block off his doggone head. And that's straight up British.
His doggone head is British.
Bollocks.
Oh, man. But yeah, 28 years was a divisive film.
Yeah.
Toast had high remarks. I did not.
Stetson had very strong opinions. And backed me into a corner. I felt like I had to defend it. I was fighting for my life.
Sure. Now Toast all of a sudden is backtracking all the things.
Hey. Let me say this. I still enjoyed it.
I'm not saying there wasn't stuff to enjoy with it, but I'm saying this was not a concise film. That was my opinion. Now, going from 28 years later, a year ago, and then seeing the trailer for 28 years later, The Bone Temple, I was interested. I'm like, I didn't even know there was a second one coming out. I mean, it was revealed to us when we were doing the review, like, oh, they're filming a second one. Mm-hmm. But the movie did not feel like we were leading to a second movie. I mean, we have 28 days, 28 weeks, 28 years. And you're like, okay, so we have 28 years. There's going to be a gap of time. And it's like, so that's what I was expecting the second film to be, another gap in time of some sort. But no, we just get part 2, which should have been explained, I feel like.
I mean, the context clues were there when the Power Rangers show up at the end, but
yeah, and that ruined the first film. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it.
In every review that I have ever listened to about 28 years later, they're like, yeah, that was a shock, wasn't it?
Yeah, not good. But I feel like now seeing The Bone Temple, there was a path to make 28 years later good.
Yeah, and they followed that path. But anyways, 28 years later, a Bone Temple brings a different director, right? So historically, in the 28 whatevers later series, Danny Boyle directed 28 Days Later, and then there was a different director for 28 Weeks Later. Danny Boyle did 28 Years Later, different director for 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Danny Boyle will be back for 28 Years Later, whatever that name is.
28 years later and a few months. But yeah, so seeing the trailer, I was like, oh, maybe there's something here because completely different tone. I'm interested. I see something different. I'm learning something new. I understand the context of the Jimmies a little bit more. Like, I'm excited to see it. Surprisingly, initially when I first even saw like the name of the trailer, I was like, oh God, here we go. And so going into it, I'm anticipating something good or bad. And man, did 28 years later deliver.
Yeah, I mean, it made 28 years later, the movie that I enjoyed, look like it didn't need to look like that, you know?
So what you're telling me is that I was right the whole time.
No, I still enjoyed that movie. I think that it has a place. I think that the character of Spike had to be established in that way. Sure. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm explaining my point of view. That said, I do think that I'm really interested to see where the next one goes.
Yeah.
But this one took a movie and a concept that I already enjoyed and made it so much more.
Yeah. I think if I had a Stetson's cut of the two films together, I would have extended 28 years later all the way through the pool scene. All the way, like we meet the Jimmies then go to the pool. They have this ceremony. We understand the context of Jimmy, that these are Satanists, that they have an interesting way of deciding who's inside of their gang. And then the movie ends and we are pumped to continue this story.
I don't know though, because when the Jimmies showed up at the end of 28 years later, for me, it kind of gave me hope for Spike. I thought that those were going to be people that helped him out and he was in a good situation now. So to go from that feeling of like, oh, cool, he's with people who can help him out now, to the first thing that we see in the next movie is him in the pool having to kill for his space that he doesn't even want. He doesn't want to join them. He can already tell that, but he has to fight to the death right now or he's just gone.
Yeah. And to me, it would have solidified, what's his name? What's the kid's name?
Spike.
It would have solidified Spike. And I think it would have gave like the whole context to the whole movie of like, because in the first one, and 28 years later, Spike's kind of being built up to the idea that he might be able to survive in this world on his own.
Yeah.
You know, that he's being taught how to hunt. He's out there with zombies. He survived. Like he's helping his mom. He's brave in that way of going out trying to like help his mom and bring her to a doctor type idea. So we're building up Jimmy, not Jimmy, Spike, this whole movie. And then we get to the Jimmies, he gets saved, and we're thinking, oh, Spike's going to be a badass, but if we see the pool scene, we're like, no, this is just a scared kid, that doesn't really have kind of what it takes to be alive in this world. Like he's most likely meant to die in this world. Like he has to be protected. Like he's not going to survive outside of it. But we do see in Bone Temple, though, that Spike is willing to kill zombies. He has to. But he's willing to kill zombies. He's just hesitant on hurting humans.
Well, he's also hesitant on torture. I think that's the distinction, right? Is he can dispatch a zombie, but to sit there and torture a human for hours, and that's where he draws the line, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So many surprising things going into this movie, and it hooks you right away. Like the pool scene at the very beginning, just a tone setter, and you understand that this is a different movie. Like this is a completely different movie, which is awesome, but also, like you said, kind of upsetting, because you kind of feel like if we have this movie, why didn't we get
some of this tone or feeling in the previous movie? Yeah.
Why did not we have the feeling of Bone Temple and 28 Years Later?
Yeah. I'm not sure. I listened to a few interviews with Nia DaCosta, and so some of the interesting things that I found out from that was that they did the casting simultaneously for all three movies, essentially. So they're all written, but they did the casting simultaneously based on which movie they were going to be in more. So like Danny Boyle got to pick Aaron Taylor Johnson and everybody in that movie. But as far as the Jimmies, there were certain things that Nia DaCosta got to pick and certain things that Danny Boyle got to pick because of who's going to be in the third movie. And so even then, there were some creative things that Nia DaCosta changed from the original script that she would have to clear with, Danny Boyle or Alex Garland to make sure that it was functional with the next movie. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see where the story goes.
Yeah, and I'm also wondering, watching them consecutively, just straight through, if I would feel differently about 28 Years Later if I watched them together. Now
that it's more of a complete story.
As one piece. Yeah, and I'd be like, okay, I can see how it works, but one thing that I think, which I'm confused by, is the script in 28 Years Later, I hated so much. Like it was one of my biggest pet peeves. And the script for Bone Temple, I thought was perfect. I thought everyone matched really well. Everything about the characters really worked well. I mean, even what's the doctor's name?
Ray Fiennes.
Even Ray Fiennes, like his dialogue really tightened up for me. It just felt good, and I was just like, and I guess it goes to show you, like, directing and delivery can change an entire script. Like you could have they're the exact same writers, exact same like thoughts going through them, but they're told and said in a way that, to me, on one side works really well, and then on the other side really, really was annoying.
Yeah, it's super interesting to have these two very contrasting movies from the same writer, right? Telling the same story. Bradley Cooper, when we were talking about Is This Thing On, he mentioned in his writing process that he thinks about writing in waves. And so I think you can kind of see that in Alex Garland's writing, where you're seeing these waves that are in a sea of like seriousness, but you've got to break that up eventually. And so I think that that's what he was trying to do, was bring in a wave that breaks the other waves. I don't know. It's interesting. And that's why it's going to be interesting to see where it goes next. Are they going to keep the same like laughable attitude, this dark humor, or is it going to go serious again and be like this deep introspective view on relationships again, or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, they gave us that tiny little teaser there at the end with
Cillian Murphy.
And yeah, it makes you excited for the next one for sure. I mean, there was so much about Bone Temple that worked so well that you have to go on, you know? And the drop off of this one was exciting, you know, where the drop off of 28 years later was, it was super confusing and felt awkward.
Yeah.
It was like, where did this come from? Yeah, you have these Power Rangers going around like in these wigs, killing zombies left and right, just being like weird little badasses. And you're like, how?
Yeah.
How does this make sense? Make this make sense to me.
Yeah. And so the character of Jimmy, Sir Lord Jimmy Crystal, is pretty interesting because that's an exploration of how would a child cope with this, you know, and that's the story that we're seeing with Spike too, but Spike's coming from a little bit more stable growing up than Jimmy, who at 8 years old, the infection happened. Right. And it's really interesting, the things that they wrote in there and portrayed, like, he talks about the Teletubbies, but he calls them Teletubbies because he was 8 years old and he's remembering these things from his childhood. He dresses like Jimmy Savile, which I don't know if you're familiar.
No, I know that we had talked about him in the last podcast that we did about 28 years later, but I can't remember a ton about him.
Yeah, so I did. We're Americans, so we don't know about UK-based pedophiles that much. But I did some research to find out like what this character even is. And it's pretty dark. It's seriously dark. But in the 90s, when Jimmy Crystal would have been, 8 years old, Jimmy Savile was big time. Like he was, I'm trying to think of somebody that you could compare it to. It'd be like kind of
Blue's Clues guy,
but like more culturally relevant.
Oh,
like because he was on multiple shows, and he was abusing people the whole time, children, women, like didn't matter the sex, didn't matter anything. And there were like, I think over 340 reported cases, and it went on for like 50 years. And he ended up dying with no justice, like never having had to face the music. Anyways, he was really charismatic, and that's the reason that he was able to get away with a lot of the things that he did. Was like people caught him, they reported him, and he would talk his way out of it or make a joke out of it.
Explain it. Yeah, explain it away.
And he was well known for his velour tracksuits, which is what like all of them are wearing, because in the 90s, Jimmy Savile was the man. And so for this 8-year-old Jimmy Crystal to be watching him on the TV, that's the guy that you would want to be aspiring to be. And so that's, I mean, it's such a interesting character to base things on, because at the time that the infection happened, nobody knew about it. You know, they're still thinking this guy's awesome. They don't have the knowledge that we have now, where it's like you're basing your personality off of this
horrible person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jimmy is pretty awesome in the way of that. It totally is someone that thinks that they're like the smartest person in the world, but really is just dumb, but at the same time realizes what they're doing. Like he knows that he's actually not Satan's son.
Yeah.
In some way, like he might kind of believe it at some level, but also he knows that this is my one way of controlling all the people that I have as my followers, my disciples. And seeing that thought process through him and the doctor was really, really fun and interesting. Their conversations and how they understand each other and how it's going to play out. Like you either have to like follow along and make this real for the people that are following me, or I have to kill you. Like I have no other choice but to kill you.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting world that they're built. And we got so much more context. Like with 28 years later, we see the settlement, we see the island, they go out, harvest food or whatever, bring it back every single night. And it's just boring. It's just a normal zombie movie of people surviving. Is like we've seen The Walking Dead people. Like there's 15 freaking seasons. It's done.
Which, can I just interrupt real quick, because I realized rewatching 28 Days Later that The Walking Dead tries to steal like the entire concept of the introduction. Like, oh, guy's been in a coma, wakes up, and it's a zombie apocalypse. Can't find anybody for a while. That's 28 Days Later. You ripped it off.
And made way too many seasons.
Way too many. Should have stopped
Way too many.
way earlier.
I fell off at season 3. Couldn't do it anymore.
It got rough.
Same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And so that's what was interesting. We got to see this world expand and understand what more people were doing and how they were getting along. And like the Jimmies, they're not afraid of the zombies. Like they literally,
it's commonplace.
They literally just don't care.
Yeah.
Like you see it all the time. There's like, okay, I'll just go off by myself, hike all the way through the woods to just go and investigate, not worry about any zombies being around me.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy. I mean, at the beginning, we see the family and they make one noise and they're being chased by 50 freaking zombies. Like, how did the Jimmies just get away from 50 zombies at once?
Yeah.
But they do. And yeah, they leave like a lot of openness of redemption in different ways. Like you have the girl that survives, the only one of the family with the baby. And is that going to circle back around somehow?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, and then also Samson,
Has
getting
all the
treated
knowledge,
and then walking off with Kelson, who was dying, but I guess he did die on screen. They showed that.
Yeah, he died all the way.
So Samson will be interesting to see. I loved when he goes, when he's just sitting there in the train and he goes, I don't have a ticket. And then just the chaos that ensues after that.
Well, what's interesting is it makes you question, and this is a thought that I had in the movie, is like when he has his vision and everyone's on the train and, the ticket taker's coming up, he's still in his zombie brain. Is that what he's experiencing in his zombie brain? Like everyone's normal and like they're literally like coming through and like this lady is a ticket taker, like in his imagination of like she is just a normal human being doing normal things. And then when his mind switches to being actually not being a zombie anymore, he sees them as who they are. Mm-hmm. That was interesting to me. That a question that I didn't really get full, if it was just a daydream, if he was, if it was a memory, or if that's how he was experiencing. Because when he woke up, all the people were there, but they were zombies.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also the first scene when he's chasing that guy and then rips his head off, he sees him as a zombie, basically. So, yeah, it seems like they're seeing things that aren't there or are there differently.
Yeah. But, are they seeing it as if they're just normal human beings living a normal life type feeling? Or I guess they could be like in a daydream state, where it feels like they're living normal lives, but they're just walking around, just whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, hopefully we'll find out in the third installment. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Samson's character. Mm-hmm. And that's all I keep on saying about this movie is it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Because this one was so interesting.
Yeah. This one added, it was a original take on zombies, which they've done before, like you said, with 28 days later. Kind of the OGs in that way of kind of creating this type of post zombie world. But yeah, this was the first time where I'm in a zombie movie really invested into the zombies.
Man, you must have never seen Disney's Zombie. Z is for zombie. I can't remember exactly. Main character's name is Zed. He's a zombie. It's all main characters, zombies.
Not original.
Listen, just study up on your zombie movies, okay? Because I won't tolerate this slander.
I've seen a lot of them, okay? And like there's only like so much that you can really care about with like a cure. This was an interesting way of bringing around the idea of a cure to the zombie, and especially like to the alpha. Like this zombie that's its body's composition and everything else has changed, because of the infection. And yeah, how the process of that happens. Like it's not like someone in a lab just like, figuring out this super complex way. It's just this doctor that is mixing chemicals and figures out, oh, I can tame these guys into a state, and when their brain isn't hyperactive, they're normal. And then trying to figure out how the dosage and everything else to try to change that psychosis, which is an interesting thought.
Yeah. And the doctor was such a cool character. Like he would probably be the coolest guy alive in this world, like in the world that we're living in, but he's definitely the coolest guy alive in that world.
It's definitely eccentric. The shots that they did with him were really, really fun, and bringing back the reality of the world all the time, where him and Samson are like dancing and they're dancing to the music, and then we get a wide shot across the hill where you're viewing them, and you're just like, what?
Yeah.
It's dead silent. There's no music or anything. You're just seeing this guy dance with a zombie, and I love that, like the context. And yeah, just the pullback, the continual pullback of this is what this world is. This is what it feels like as an observer, was really fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then obviously Jimmy's character, Jack O'Connell, returning after Sinners, being the bad guy in Sinners.
Is that the same guy?
Yeah, the vampire.
No way.
Yeah.
Totally didn't recognize him.
I didn't either until I was listening to interviews with him. And yeah, he does a great job in both of those movies.
Man, I mean, everything about him changed with this character. I feel I really, I can kind of see it in my mind's eye now, but yeah, it's very hard to put those two people together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On the other hand,
into the character.
I'm pretty sure I saw Voldemort.
Yeah, in this movie, definitely.
Every movie that guy's in, I see him every single time.
His nose somehow disappears every time.
Get away from it. Somehow Voldemort comes out every performance.
Definitely during the Iron Maiden song, he looked like Voldemort for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that sequence was so awesome.
Oh, man. That was crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was so beautiful in a lot of different ways. So creative. So unexpected. Like, could you imagine being a Jimmy?
And seeing that while he also drugs you because he blew something in their face.
Yeah.
And you're hallucinating and seeing that.
Holy cow.
That would be crazy.
Yeah. And you have Sir Jimmy just like, holy, this is awesome. Like, he's doing it.
He was freaking out so much. It was so fun to watch.
Yeah. That sequence, like that 5 minutes is alone worth watching the movie for. Like, it's so good.
Yeah. And but I feel like it only works because of how they've set everything up.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you just threw that in without having set up all these characters and letting us know how naive and calculating, Sir Jimmy is calculating. The other Jimmies are so naive because they're even younger, so they don't have any frame of reference to any of this stuff. But Jimmy's seen probably concerts and stuff. Yeah, such a cool scene. In one of the interviews that I listened to with Nia DaCosta, she mentioned that they thought about doing that scene in a set, closed set, but she didn't want to. She needed it to feel like it was actually happening. And
Outdoors,
so they did it on the set that they had built of the Bone Temple, which the set designer was pretty worried about because the bones are made of something that's very flammable, apparently.
Jeez.
And there was a lot of fire.
Yeah, it was crazy. It felt good. Like, yeah, just one of those moments in a movie where you get so entrenched in the movie where you're all in. And a lot of movies just don't get you there.
Yeah. Yeah, that scene, you are completely entranced with it. And then to go from that to the seriousness of him making them swear their oaths or whatever, like the tone change is so cool. It's so shocking and jarring. And then watching Ralph Fiennes emotionalize what's going through just by the way that he, his eyes, his voice.
When you see Spike and everything too.
Yeah. I mean, masterclass. That guy's good. He can do it all. I've liked him in pretty much everything that I've ever seen him in.
Yeah.
But this just blew me away. I didn't know he had that kind of physicality.
Oh yeah. I mean, the dude's ripped too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how old he is, but he's definitely in his 50s, maybe early 60s. And he is ripped, and he definitely shows it off in this movie.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, freaking crazy. Yeah, there's so much to talk about with this movie that it's hard to talk about in that way, where every single time you think about it, you're thinking about different moments. And I feel like you can equate it to Sinners in that way. Like Sinners was very impactful, beautiful, had so many big elements to it, where this movie felt like it landed in all fronts. And it makes you, I don't know, in a way it makes you wish that you had more franchises like this where you could expound like Sinners, if Sinners had enough room to then come in and have like another film about it. But Sinners, the downside of Sinners is that it's based in kind of like a normal
world other than vampires.
Yeah, it just has vampires.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's things that they introduced in Sinners that they could do a prequel or a sequel if they wanted to. But it's also such a standalone movie. Like, it's such a contained story that you don't necessarily need one if what's the director's name?
Man, I can't remember right now.
Man, he's so good. I can like hear his voice in my head.
Yeah.
Ryan Coogler.
Yeah, Coogler.
Yeah. It's not Ryan, is it?
Yeah, it's Ryan.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He is. I'm excited for anything that he comes out with, man. And right now, after seeing 28 years later, Bone Temple, anything that Nia DaCosta does, I'm excited for.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what they come up with next. Yeah, do you have anything else that you want to really dive into?
The music was obviously an important part of this movie. So important actually that both Duran Duran and the Iron Maiden song were written into the script, and they had the rights to those songs before even shooting. So they shot the scenes with that music.
Nice.
Which is super helpful, I think. They didn't have the rights for Radiohead until post-production. But I thought it showed really good foresight to write it in and write the whole scene based around it.
Yeah. Well, it made sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, the music added such a important element to like the human side of the world. I did love the conversation that the doctor, what's the doctor's name in the movie?
Dr. Ian Kelson.
Dr. Ian Kelson. The conversation that he has with Spike, and Spike's, high on morphine and whatnot, and he's just zoned out. And he's like, it's okay to escape. He's like, you're escaping right now. And he's like, it's normal. He's okay. And he takes, his dart and takes a little lick and goes off into his world.
Oh, with Samson, you're saying?
With Samson, yeah.
Okay.
He's sitting there with Samson, and he takes a lick of the dart. And then he does that because he is willing to die to see if Samson is willing to kill him.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't want to be awake for it. Because he knows if he's awake for it, he won't let him do it.
Yeah.
I thought that was brilliant. Where he's just accepting. He's like, I'm going to accept and get really high, fall asleep. Whatever happens, happens. If I'm alive tomorrow, then I'm alive tomorrow.
Yeah. And then when he wakes up, that is such a good scene too. Like his eyes, they focus right on his face, right on his eyes. And he's like, I'm alive.
And you don't really realize what he's meaning by that at first. You realize that Samson's gone, but you don't really understand the importance of that. Because you're just like, oh yeah, like of course Samson's gone.
When he licks the dart, you definitely don't.
Yeah.
But until he starts like slowly passing out, and you're like, oh, he's trying to see if Samson's gonna kill him when he wakes up.
I didn't see that.
Humanity.
I didn't see that at all until he woke up. That's what it was a complete surprise to me that I just thought he was just trying to trip with him, and he was like, oh yeah, like this is my buddy now. I'm just gonna I'll get high with you.
Yeah.
Cool. And then when he wakes up and acknowledges that he's alive, I'm like, oh yeah, he should be dead.
Yeah. Oh, I still have my head. Oh, it's still attached.
Still attached to my body. Woo.
Yeah. Yeah. Overall, just so well done, I think.
Well, should we rate it?
Let's do it.
All right, you go first.
Man, I really enjoyed, like I said, 28 years later. This one, I think, blew it out of the water. And for that reason, I've got to give it the first 5 of 2026.
First 5 ever.
Possibly.
It's the first 5 on Burnt or Buttered ever.
Well, that just happened.
All right. Well, we have a gauge. So you're basing every other movie off of Bone Temple now.
Everything. Yeah. Except for it's also based on Nosferatu.
But we never posted Nosferatu.
That was a bad review, but a good movie.
All right. Well, I am going to give this movie a 4.78.
Whoa. That is one of Stetson's highest scores ever.
I think it might be the highest score.
It might be.
It's up there. It's up there with a lot of mine. I think the only reason that it's not a 5, one, I don't know if a 5 exists.
Man, everybody thinks that their ratings are so precious. They can't give out a 5. Look at me. I just give it out.
You gave it up one time. Yeah, but I feel like when I see a 5, I'm going to know it's a 5. This is pretty dang close to the closest thing that getting out of the theater, I'm like, that was pretty dang good.
You guys should have seen the smile on this guy's face. I have never seen it so big. He was like,
no,
that was a good movie.
It is really good. I think reason number 2 it's not a 5 for me is that it's horror. Like, I have slowly, my tolerance for horror has gone up by 1,000-fold from last year to this year, because it's been freaking what's that called when you're trying to get over like an allergy, and exposure therapy. It's been exposure therapy to horror over this last year, because we've just seen so many of them, and so I've gotten used to it.
And we've seen so many good ones.
Yeah, there's been decent horror films for sure.
Real good.
And so that, I think 4.78 has to be my rating for it. It's really, really good. And very, very, very surprising, because we're coming off of 28 Years Later, which I think I gave 28 Years Later like a 1.9.
If
like,
even.
Yeah. Like it was low, like 2 or below was my rating for that. So it's weird. I don't know if there's ever been a franchise that I know of that has done this, where it was, to me, a really bad film to one of the best films I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. I don't know of any franchise that's ever done that for me.
One after the other, too, like 1 year later. That's what's kind of cool about this film, too, is that 28 Years Later is still really fresh. Like, we're 1 year away from it. It's not Avatar 5 years, 6 years later that we're experiencing the next film. So I really, really, I enjoyed that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like, it's a great film. Go watch it.
Go watch it.
They put a loincloth on Samson this time, so you don't have to be staring straight down the barrel.
There are a lot of wieners in this film, though.
And a few boobies.
Mostly wieners.
Mostly wieners. They got a thing about that in this franchise. The first shot in 28 Years Later is just straight on Cillian Murphy's bush.
Yep. So
go see it.
Go see it. Well, yeah. If you saw 28 Years Later, our podcast, and you watched this one, you'd have to comment on this podcast, because that is special. We've been doing this for almost a year now. I think this episode will probably be episode 52. So we've done a few that were, a couple in a week, but overall, this is our 52 episode, 52nd week. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Been a wild ride. We're still seeing movies, so we'll probably still film them.
And I just have to say, after a year of doing this, I resign. I'm just kidding.
I'm going solo. Follow my other podcast. All right.
And that's the show.
We'll see you in the next one.